Hello and welcome back to One More for the Road, a podcast of reviews, retrospectives, and interviews where I talk about a bunch of games with cool people. My name is Eric. I am your host, and with me, as always, is the absolutely amazing
FelixWind. Yo, what's up?
dude. I'm so glad to have you back.
Yo, honestly, yeah, I'm happy to be here. And talking about the last bits of freaking Trails from Zero.
Yes,
I'm not. Oh,
that is
I'm
what
not
we
ready.
are here to talk about. We are going to be talking about Trails from Zero. We already covered the first half of this game in a previous episode, and now we are back to talk about the second half and all of our thoughts. And oh my god, some stuff happened. Before we get into it, though, Felix, will you please tell the people who you are and what you do?
Yeah. So I primarily stream on Twitch at the moment. I'm a variety caster, but lately I've been having quite a binge of JRPGs. Like I might have to reconsider my branding here, honestly.
Oh, it's
It's
understandable.
yeah, it's been a good time over there though.
I mean, that's what happened to me, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
it was actually really funny because I played Tales of Arise
Oh yes.
around this time last year, actually. And I was like, man, this is a lot of fun. And I kind of am not vibing with the gacha games that I'm currently playing. And because I was like I was a 100% like a mobile game gacha game streamer.
Yeah.
And then
I remember
I
that.
was like, yeah. And then I was like, all right, let's do this. And then I played Xenoblade and then after Xenoblade was Trails in the Sky. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is all I'm doing now. This is the primary focus.
Yo, games like this can really be career defining for people like us, honestly.
Oh my god, it's so wild. Like going from literally having never heard of this series at the beginning of the year to Trails from Zero, and I'm gonna say this with 100%.
Yeah.
Trails from Zero is a top 3 JRPG for me.
Ooh, okay.
I don't
I like
know
that.
what's kicking out though.
Right. So what would you say that your top 3 currently consists of?
Right now, it's Chrono
Or I guess
Cross.
yeah, prior to Zero, yeah.
Yep. Chrono Cross, Skies of Arcadia. Oh man, Zero might be the third one now. I can't even think of a third one on top. Like though, because those two, like I would probably say like Tales of Symphonia would probably be like in that top 3, but I feel like Tales of Symphonia is more of like a formative JRPG rather than a good one. It kind of just like it. I played it at a time. It was like my first like real JRPG that I played,
That makes sense. Yeah.
and I think like yeah, like I got that on the GameCube, and it was great. Actually, what was your first JRPG?
The first one I think I ever actually had hands on with was
Mhm.
probably Star Ocean Till the End of Time.
Oh
That I
my
can recall
god,
anyway. Yeah,
that's
like
a
I think that was
spicy one.
yeah, like I've been exposed to Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy VII, like at a very young age, but I never really got to like play them and understand what it meant to be playing any kind of JRPG. So I think yeah, that
Mhm.
one was the first one I was actually hands on with.
Yeah, I liked Legend of Dragoon a lot now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
But like I played Symphonia and then I'm like, oh man, are there other games like this? And I had a PlayStation 2.
Oh, yep.
And so I jumped into like Final Fantasy X, the massive backlog of PS1 JRPGs, and like Chrono Cross, Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy 8 and 9. I tried 7. I didn't like 7.
Yeah,
I
really?
did not like Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, wow.
I bounced off it real hard when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until the Advent Children movie dropped that I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool stuff. And,
Yeah.
and then I just ended up playing all those side games as opposed to like the actual Final Fantasy VII. And then I ended up playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I'm like, oh, this is the best game ever. I freaking love this.
Right? Yeah. I definitely get that. Wow.
Yeah. I would probably. What would your top 3 be?
I'm definitely keeping Star Ocean there. I've been meaning to actually go back to it soon and give that another run. Shoot, see now I'm over here.
The hard questions here.
In there? Like, I guess Live Alive is making it on there, or Alive Alive.
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah, that game has me in a hold.
Dude, I forgot that game existed for a few minutes.
Yeah, no, I can't shake that one. That one rattled me to my soul.
Dude, I know. I watched that do it to you.
Yeah.
That game gave it to you, man.
It really did. Oh, I gotta go back to it and just run through it again. And then, dang, what would I put there? It's funny because if you asked me this like a month ago, I probably would have had a solid 3 before I considered 0, and now I'm like, it might be
0's good.
Zero's
very, very good. And this is a great segue to actually talk, about the game we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't listened to our last podcast, we talked about the game up to the beginning of chapter 3, or the end of chapter 3, where we, get a small girl out of a box from an auction, and then some stuff happens.
Lots of stuff, just back to back to back.
So if you want our opinions about the first half of this game, definitely go and check out that previous episode. Link will be in the doobly-doo. I'll try to remember to put a card. Just go watch that. It's like an hour, and so will this. I hope. I'm gonna put that good into the world that this is only an hour.
Yes.
So actually, I know it's not in the correct order on the notes, but let's talk about the story from that point forward, and then we can talk about characters and how they developed after that. Right?
Yes, that's good. Yeah.
So after we get Kia, who is the small child in a box, we basically have the intermission chapter.
Yep.
And we just like wander around with Kia being adorable. Which I'm gonna be 100%. That's like one of the coziest moments in the anything. It's so fun.
Yeah. It's the last time you're safe.
Oh my god, yeah, because again, stuff happens. I'm trying to think what chapter 4 actually did, because like I don't know where chapter 4 ends and the finale began.
Right. Wait a second here. Okay, so I know chapter 4 was pretty much the bulk of, hey, like I think you start off looking for the missing guy, right? The one who disappears from the Maine's mining village.
Is that the beginning of chapter 4?
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like that's like no. That's after we go to the ruins.
Oh,
yeah, we go to the ruins for reasons.
Yes, there was the bell started ringing.
Yeah, and then people are like, "Oh, the ruins are like extra haunted today," and we go with Noelle.
Yes, because oh my gosh, what's the name of their
the Guardian
part of the
Force.
Army? The Guardian Force goes over there, and they were dealing with monsters, and so they are like, hey, who might know something about this? The SSS.
Yeah, and so we get schlepped over there, and we do a bunch of fun, puzzles. And okay, I say puzzles. It's more like go to the 2 switches to get to the back room, I guess.
Yeah,
it's like a puzzle.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, so the
and that's where it segues into the missing people.
Yeah, so but we go we're going around, and it's full of ghosts and stuff, ghosts and goblins.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the back, and there's just a demon
Yeah, just casually.
Just casual demon, just hangs
and then
out.
like an evil eye on the floor. I'm pretty sure, right?
Oh yeah, just big evil eye, and I'm like, oh god, yeah. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, right.
I was under the impression, like my initial, like off the cuff, was like, oh god, how did the society get over here?
Right.
Like how old? And then it's like, oh, these ruins are ancient. I'm like, how old is the society?
Right.
Like, and because I thought it was an Ouroboros thing, because like the only other time we've seen that was in relation to Weissman.
Yes.
Because that's like his evil eye, like symbol.
Yes.
So we fight off the demon, and then we like lick the bell to make it stop ringing or whatever. I don't we just all kind of hug the bell, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, are you holding it in place? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm like, because I even said like don't just hug the bell, it'll vibrate you or whatever. And like,
right.
Whatever, it worked. I'm not a bell expert, I guess, like Lloyd Bannings.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like on our way out of that, we get contacted by the mayor of Mainz. Yeah. Now, yes. I went up to Mainz earlier for a side quest of some variety.
Ooh, okay.
Because I did all the side quests.
Yeah, I didn't bother. I got to a point and I was like, I'm near the end. I'm just gunning for it. And so I started ignoring them towards the end myself.
That's fair. Like, honestly, like, and that's something actually I feel like I did want to bring up at some point. Like, yeah. I ignore a lot of side content. Like, yeah, I like not a ton. Like, I probably did about 80% of this game, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm,
but like, I feel like there's a lot of people who kind of look down on if you are not 100%ing games. And yeah. I don't want to say like, it doesn't matter if you do none of the side content, if you do all the side content. Like, if you're having fun, that's the important part.
Exactly. Agreed.
Like, I basically did all the side content that was in my path, and I always try to do all of the like listed missions. You know? Yes. But like, I'm not gonna go, schlep over to Americana Village or whatever and talk to Billy Bob Thornton Joe and see what he's doing, every time a story beat happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, a lot to keep up with. If you do, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have something new to say every time. Like, I actually did keep up with Amy in Mainz,
okay, yeah.
which was the whole reason I was up there. But the reason I brought this up was I knew there was a dude missing before we got that call, because the mayor talks about it, and so does Amy.
Right.
Shoutouts to Amy in Mainz Village. She never got that guy. Fun fact.
Oh dang! Really?
Upsetting. Never ended up hooking up.
Dang.
She scared the dude off.
Here's hoping that things work out better for her in
Azure. Dude, I it's all I want. I just want her to have that hookup. All right.
Yeah.
It's what she craves.
Oh wow.
But so we get the call, and then we. I thought this was going to be like a way more involved process, like physically finding him, but he's just gambling.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he disappeared while he was gambling. And it's like, oh, where'd he go? Oh, he's been gambling. He's, just hooking up in the hotel. He took our courtesans or whatever. Not courtesans, escorts. Like there we go. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he took a couple of our escorts. He's over in the hotel. He's being rich. And then we go, and there he is, being rich with the escorts. And that's it.
That was it.
I was like,
I got mad.
And even Lloyd at that point was like, well, I guess we tell the mayor.
Yeah, right. He was like, what do we do about this? We can't just force him to go back home. Like,
yeah, he's like, he's a whole adult. Like, what do we do?
Oh goodness.
And yeah, so like we call the mayor, and he's like, yeah, he's here. And he's like, and the mayor's even like, yeah, he's like a whole adult. Oh, I'll come down later, I guess. And then the next time we see him, the next, like, yeah, no, yeah, because the mayor comes down and he's like
Yes.
and he calls us up. He's like, oh, he's being real antsy in the back room. And then,
Oh
was that the
my.
first time you realized there was a room there?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, I had no idea the room was there, and I've been in that casino like 10 times at that point.
Nice. Yeah, I've gone
Yeah.
in there only a couple, and never at all did it occur to me that there was a room back there, or at least an accessible room.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, it's fine. There's clearly another room, but like, I was like, yeah, we don't have to go back there. Why would we?
Right.
And then
And who do we see?
Lecter.
Mhm. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I'm like, why is Lecter here? And then they're like, oh, my super cool straight flush is the unbeatable hand. And then Lecter's just like, lol, Lamau, 5 of a kind. I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong with you people?
I honestly, my biggest question for the chapter was how he pulled that off. Honestly, like Lecter is such an enigma of a character,
Dude.
and I can't wait to learn more about him.
He went from like weird himbo hanging out in Chloe's school to weird himbo just being an essential main character to the overarching plot. Because you know, every time Lecter's in the room, that's like main plot stuff.
Yes.
Like, that is important stuff. And that's when I kind of started thinking, I'm like, okay, what is this dude's like? Okay, what this miner is more important than I thought he was. Like, the second I saw Lecter, I'm like, okay, this is a really relevant conversation.
Yeah.
And so, like, we do all that, and then we find the pills. I'm sorry, I played Left 4 Dead once in the last like month, and now every time I say the word pills, it's like pills here.
Yep.
It's just broken part of my brain. I apologize.
I am so sorry for you, honestly.
It's fair. I need that pity. Someone needs to be sorry. So we get these fun blue pills, and then Tio, the second we see these pills, Tio starts acting sketchy.
Right.
So what? So I think like we take those down to what's his name, Gwenter, Dr. Gwenter.
Yep. That we do.
Yeah, and I
think just before that, actually, we probably run it by Sergey and Dudley too. I think, right? Kind of let them know.
That feels accurate. That feels accurate enough. It's like, hey, what do we do with this? It's like, I don't know. Go make the doctor figure it out. He's a doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like his job. So we do that. Some stuff happens. I don't remember the order of operations here because I spent so we give him the stuff, and then the next day, mass disappearances.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Afterwards.
And then we find out like the mafia's just straight up vanished.
Yeah. What a setup that was too.
Dude, right. It's like the mafia's just gone. And I'm like, hold on. But the mafia is the bad guys. If they're gone, who's the bad guy?
Yep. Exactly.
So
I remember thinking at the time that I was like, the mafia probably just, looked at everybody they handed the drug off to and just, took them somewhere. I don't know. They're just lying in wait somewhere.
See, I was fully expecting. Yeah, I was fully expecting, like, because I'm like, okay, cool. We're setting up a dungeon to go through their base. I'm expecting them to be in the last room, and then we have to fight,
right,
like a bunch of stuff. That was my expectation. That's not what happened.
Nope. Oh my goodness.
So we get the 2 keyblades, obviously. And we open the room, we fight a bunch of robots. Oh, I really liked the fact that all of the monsters in the one half were from Liberal. Like, it was all a bunch of first chapter monsters.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that. And then if you scan them, they even say it's like native to Liberal.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
So we did that. We fought a robot. We find Guy's badge.
Oh my gosh. I got chills at that scene.
Oh, dude. Okay. Did am I the only one who felt ripped off when we finally get to see the like monster treasure chest behind his stupid chair, and there's not there's not a monster. I'm like, what is he keeping in the chest? Like, what kind of crazy monster does he have in the monster chest in his own room?
Yeah, I remember seeing the cutscene like several times in the game, right? Like whenever we see Don Macaroni in there, talking his
Macaroni.
Nonsense, the one and only. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I kept looking at the chest, and I'm like, okay, obviously we're going to be here at some point. What is in there? Like I kept asking, but of course, looking at the coloration of it and everything, I was like, okay, well, surely it's some sort of like trap or monster or I guess like other plot relevance, but I wasn't expecting the badge.
Yeah, I mean that is a kind of trap.
Yeah,
but like, it's just really fascinating because that very much set up like okay, so the mafia killed Guy kind of thing.
Yes.
And then we hard cut to the finale, and then we get Ren setting up a tea party.
My gosh,
every alarm in my head was going off at that point. I'm like, oh no.
I was like, now?
It's like, lady, we do not have the spoons to deal with you right now. We have stuff happening.
Right.
And then what's the first thing that happens in the finale? We go to the hospital.
Yeah, I was about to say,
there's got to be something before that. I know there's something
the group is doing before, like while they're waiting for the call, because Winter's supposed to call the group by around noon. So they spent most of the day kind of like around the SSS building, I think, and then they chilled there. Yeah, I can't remember what happened before that, but I know they chilled there from around noon or just before noon up until about like 5 in the evening, and then they're like, we haven't heard from him. Let's like update everybody because I think there's another conversation maybe between they just decide to go, and then they get to the bus stop and everything else kind of happens there.
They were talking about the cult documents that they found in the mafia thing. Yes, because they found the cult document things with our cool little buddy the Zohar, because you can't forget that we're playing a Xenogears sequel.
Yep, exactly.
And so we they were talking about that, and they're like, where the hell's the guy with our knowledge? And then Dudley, who I didn't mention was playable in that dungeon, but he was super fun to play with.
Great character.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, we got to go down, and then the bus is out of order again, and we're like, all right, whatever, bus problems. It's like the 8th bus we've had to fix. Let's go beat up a couple monkeys who are threatening the bus. And then there's no monkeys. Well, okay, there are, but like the normal ones, we're already there. They're always there.
Yep.
And then we get to the bus, and it's like, oh, it's just abandoned.
Yeah.
Then we get to the hospital.
And gifts and people.
Yep. And then we get to the hospital, and then it's evening.
Yeah.
Was I the only one super stressed about the fact that it was like we were getting timestamps?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, that was like it's like same day, 7 p.m. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like I was absolutely like, I was leaning into my chair and I was like, okay, like cool, but like what are you trying to tell me with these timestamps now? No, that was stressful. That was stressful. I was like, don't tell me it's night. Like, what's going on? Like, am I on a timer? Like, well, if I take too long here, like, am I gonna be too late? What's going on?
Right? I'm like, I don't know what this game is gonna throw at me. And and so we get there, and then it's like, oh, the mafia, but they have the orange villain text, and they're kind of Zamboni-ish, and they've got like a billion dogs, and we have a fight that can either be really, really free or really, really annoying.
That is true.
I just popped an S-Craft and wiped them out.
Nice.
At that point, I was just like, well, or no, I used a combo craft.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Because you did not do this, but there were the 3 monster extermination missions.
Yes.
In chapter 4, and each of those gives you a craft book for additional combo crafts so like you get the TO Randy, the TO
I
Ellie,
was wondering about
and then
those.
the Ellie Randy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is what you get when you don't do this.
Yeah. And then so I was just using all the TO ones because they're better than everyone else's.
Yeah, TOs are great.
Yes. And so we did that, and freaking they get back up, but then Yin. We were both like so pumped. It's like,
yeah.
It was like, oh my god! It's like, Rishia, you actually get to be part of the story.
Yeah, right. I was dummy excited. When we got the confirming text, like, Yin has joined the party, I was like, oh my god, please never leave.
I know, right? And then unfortunately, we couldn't pay her, union rep enough,
of course,
to keep her in the party the whole time. But like, God, she would have been fun to keep into the final dungeon.
Yeah. Oh, she would have been great. I wonder how she would have responded to the things that happened there.
Dude, right? I just want to hang out more. She's fun.
Yeah.
So we go through the whole we're like beating up mafia as we go through the hospital and like rescue people, and they freaking shot the bus driver, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
and we're trying to rescue Cecile, who's missing, and she ends up being on the roof. And then on the roof, there's just demons.
Yeah, just demons. I was like, huh?
Casual demons in the hospital. No big deal. And then it's like, okay, well, we got to go up to Gunther's office still, or Gwenter's office still.
Good old.
Because apparently he's still there researching, quote unquote.
I was hoping the entire time that I was wrong of being suspicious of him.
Because
I don't know. When did you kind of click into like him maybe being more than just a doctor? I guess
it was really late. I think it was like around the time I think it was around the time I got to the hospital.
Okay.
Like when I got to that gate, I'm like, okay, the gate's closed, but like the last I've been told is he's here.
Right.
So like he's got to be here. So and so like if he's here and they're under siege, like maybe he's just, and I was even like, all right, maybe we'll get there and he's, just in his office or whatever, and like they're like trying to get to him because now he has the secret Krabby Patty formula or something.
Right.
But then when we got the demons on the roof, I'm like, oh no. And then we walk in to the actual like research ward, and then it's all, evil and demony. I'm like, oh no. He's the villain.
Yeah.
That was when it clicked for me. I don't know when it clicked for you.
Honestly, within moments of seeing him, like for the first time, like however early it is, I think it's I guess it's chapter 1. Yeah, really. The first thing for me was obviously like the portrait, right? I was like, okay, like we got a doctor in a hospital. I don't know, something told me, and it's just the way he looked. I was like, you know what, this guy is going to be problematic. But I was thinking he was going to end up being one of the like Anguisse or something like that. I was thinking he was part of the society. I thought that was going to be what ended up happening with him.
Mm-hmm.
That spin on what he ended up being, I didn't expect. And then like we interact with him the one or two times like leading up to this moment and stuff. And so like my suspicions of him kind of dwindled a little bit, because like I know, for example, Ian Grimwood, of course, like he has a portrait too, as well as like a few other characters that we kind of only see in bits. So I was like, okay, well maybe he's important, but he's not necessarily, evil or anything. Even when working my way up to his floor at the end there, I was like, maybe he's just some sort of like, hostage in all of this, maybe he's being held up by something or whatever, and he's like forced to do this and But then I think about the call that you get like at the bus stop from Dudley, and I'm like, oh, he's up to no good for real. Like it's him.
That's how I was with Professor Alba in Sky, actually.
Yeah.
Like I saw him and I was frame one. I'm like, this dude's a villain. I don't know how. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But he's a villain. And I just
That's interesting.
one look, just I was like,
Yeah, that I find that very, very interesting because him being a villain came to me a little bit late. I think I got suspicious of him when I saw him at the school late game, like at the festival or whatever. I was like, "Why are you here?" Like, of all places, like shouldn't you like we know you're
oh,
apparently broke and all this nonsense. Shouldn't you be like studying another tower or something like that? But yeah,
I
seeing him at the festival.
forgot he was there.
Yeah, yeah, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with you later.
See him being suspicious later in the game never tipped me off to anything because like I was just like already suspicious.
Right.
I was like
Interesting.
frame one. I'm like, no, none of you. It's like, get out of here. I don't have time to deal with main plot stuff. I have paperwork to do.
Yeah.
Bracer Guild paperwork. We will deal with the plot later. We are busy.
That's cool. That's cool.
I like how we're like kind of opposite on that with Sky and
Yeah.
Zero. That's actually really interesting to me.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So we get up to Gwentyr's office, and who's there?
Oh my god. Freaking well, I know you call him Eugene, but Ernest.
I keep forgetting his name. It's like I've called him like Elmo, Eugene, Emmanuel once.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, it's Emmanuel. Wait, that's definitely wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so Ernest is there with, and I gotta say, his eyeshadow was, as the kids say, on fleek.
Oh yeah.
Is that a thing that they say? I think that's
I don't know
something
if they say it anymore, but
they definitely said it for like at least several months in 2020.
Most definitely.
Yes. So I will say that they still say it because obviously culture just stopped.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's sitting there with some brand new eyeshadow, some color contacts, and a big old demon sword. Spouting off some nonsense.
It looked so wrong on him. All of it.
I love how the sword clips through the ground a lot. Because he's just not he's clearly not supposed to have it.
Yeah.
Nothing about him being that way. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then it does it like, and they literally had to thank God they spoon fed it to me because it's like, oh yeah, he was super strong for no reason and super cocky and acting weird earlier because of the drug. But they had to spoon feed me that it was the drug because that didn't, again, click to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm clearly paying attention to this video game and everything it's doing. So he's like, so we have his boss fight. He's like, yes, my esteemed friend or whatever. He's like talking about the doctor. How do you pronounce his first name?
I've been saying Joaquim. Yeah.
Yeah, I just never even attempted it.
That's fair. That's extremely fair.
I just looked at it for a hot second. I'm like, yeah, we could go with Joaquim Gwenter.
Yeah, I've mostly just stuck to Gwenter, honestly, because I didn't want to butcher it. Yeah.
I'm just looking at it in our notes, and I'm like, what the hell's happening here with this name? Because I know it's not a misspelling. I know it's spelled right because it just looks like that.
Definitely sounds like somebody who'd end up being the head of the cult.
Right. So he's like, he's the head of the cult. And then it's like, all right, so the cult's like active again? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, and then we don't learn about, them wanting Kia specifically until the next story beat.
Right.
So we get even more cool cult documents, and we find, Ren's paperwork and Tio's paperwork, and we find all sorts of really useful, political paperwork and all that good stuff. Some deep lore. God. Yeah. Ren shows up for no reason. For just, to taunt us. And it's like, hey, I've got a giant robot. And also, I'm an enforcer of Ouroboros. I gotta go. I've got some stuff to do.
I had to pause and gasp because they went so as far as changing, her name on the little blurb.
Dude, yeah.
Like Angel of Slaughter Ren. I was like, no, don't do this to me, please.
I'm like, Ren, we just had a boss fight and no one has HP. Please.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
don't.
gosh.
We don't have the. We don't have the readies.
Yeah, no, especially not for the new and improved freaking robot you got.
I
No
know.
way.
And she just like. Oh, also, hold on. I'm sorry. Ernest jumps out the window and he just like rides a dragon off into the night.
Yeah. Hey, what was up with that? I mean, we know
Dude,
what was up with that, but like, come on now.
I'm like, guy, I get it. You really, really want to be Love. I get it.
Right.
You want to
Right.
be that cool, but you're not that
So
cool.
bad.
You're wearing eyeshadow and a business suit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a fine suit, but like, come on. You're not pulling it off, buddy.
No freaking way.
Yeah, and then Ren's like, haha, I was here too, and then wanders off on her robot and not to be seen until the finale.
Yep.
just all right, great, thanks. Glad we all had this conversation. And then Tio, at some point Tio gives us her backstory.
Yes.
Which was way earlier.
Yeah, that was
It was way earlier when we went to go drop off the medicine.
Yeah, because like I guess she figured it out before we even really got our hands on it, and then
and then we
that
get
anemia kicked in.
Yeah, the anemia kicked in, and then we see that she had white hair.
Yeah,
Initially, and now it's blue because of the gnosis. Oh,
Right.
I also love the fact that the drug is called gnosis, not gnosis, gnosis. You gotta pronounce the G. It's very important.
Wild.
It's great. So and so we go back to town, and we find the picture of Kia, which was the only HD picture in the whole book.
Yeah.
Because they made a drawing for it. Might as well use it. Gotta have they made promotional image, so they might as well use it. I mean, it's such a nice HD asset. Anyway, so they do that, and then hell breaks loose. Do you want to describe? Please hit me with what you were thinking when freaking Michelle called.
Oh man. I was scared. I actually thought like, it really was about to be the end. I was also certain that he was dead. I was like, oh, okay, cool. If they've attacked the Bracer Guild, literally everything is going to be under siege. I did expect more attacks on like the other like shops and the people and stuff, to be honest with you, instead of it being sort of focused on the SSS building, the police building, and then the Bracer Guilds, because I think the other places were sort of more so like barricaded off, if anything, or at least in the case of the city hall. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm about to step outside, and there are going to be buildings on fire, people scrambling around. Like I thought it was going to be just total carnage. And so I was very scared for going outside. But for it to turn into the kind of manhunt it did, because pretty much right after that, like the SSS building does get like shot into and like destroyed, pretty much, at least the first floor.
Oh,
then they do that whole chase. Oh my gosh. Zeit was moving. I loved just seeing him run around and just dodge everything. It was cool.
Oh yeah, he was moving.
Yeah, that whole chase around town had my anxiety at like the highest it had been throughout the entire game.
Oh yeah. Well, it was even worse too, because like he's like, all right, we got to make it to the CPD building, and we finally make it there. After all that nonsense, and then it's under siege.
Yeah,
like we like they're barricaded up, and we'd have to get through the dudes trying to break into the building just for them to it's like, okay, well, that's not an option anymore.
Right.
Crap.
Yeah, that was a crazy time.
Oh yeah, and then
all the breakthroughs, like
I'm just so glad they didn't run us over, because
true,
they straight up had the option to do that at any point,
that is true.
and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I guess they did it because we had Kia,
right?
But like I saw a tank driving down the road at us, and I'm like, oh god, we're gonna get smooshed.
Yeah, that was gonna be it.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And then how did you feel we got out of the city, we're on the bridge, taking our breather,
Hmm.
and then we get surrounded again.
Oh, I was like, you know what? That figures. Because yeah, you have to fight through at least one wave of them there, right? One or
I
two.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Or
like
or does the dude show up like immediately?
I think it's afterwards. I think you fight one or two waves, and then you're like, okay, like we can move forward now. But then more come swarming in, and then
Oh yeah,
uh
yeah, yeah.
that's when
Friggin'
Crow comes in.
bulletproof car guy.
Yeah, that's when he shows up.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh my god. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so we vibe, and then we get to the IBC cream soda building.
Yep.
And that's like our last rest point.
Yes.
We get our bond scene with whoever we had the most bond with.
Hmm.
I got Tio, you got Ellie. It
Ellie.
was
Yep.
really interesting to see the differences between those because Tio was like, "Hey, let's go to the amusement park together." And
Oh,
then
that's cute.
Lloyd's like, "Oh yeah, everyone can go. It'll be great." She's like, "No, we go."
Oh, really? That's what happens? Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
And
I
I'm
love that
like,
a lot.
oh Lloyd, you're dropping every ball in every court. And then I watched Ellie's, and then
Yes.
they have that freaking like kiss question mark,
Oh, I think it was one of those like they were about to,
and
and
then the
then
freaking announcement
mhm,
happened,
yes,
and then
it
he
was so close.
drops the bag, he
Yeah,
fumbles
right after, I was like,
so
okay.
hard. I was so mad.
Oh,
I was just sitting in my chair like I had to go to bed. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed now.
yeah. No, that's oh God. I wish I could have.
Dude,
That
right?
hurt me. That hurt me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like somebody just dropped a whole like bucket of ice on my head.
Oh, it was that was just ugh, it was awful. And then probably one of the neatest sequences I think in the whole game kicks off after
Yep.
you go through all your stuff. The siege on the IBC building
Yes.
where you're just fighting wave after wave after wave after wave of dudes and that music.
Yep.
Dude,
Oh.
the music from this point forward in the game is like actual legend tier.
Yeah.
Like it makes me mad again, and I think I've mentioned this like the last three times I've talked about it. It makes me really mad that it's not even on the Game Awards Best Soundtrack like
Right.
nominations.
Yeah.
It's like
Nah.
actively insulting.
It is. It is. It absolutely is. The Falcom JDK, they need their flowers 100%.
Oh my god, they did the entire Zero soundtrack, and we'll talk about the soundtrack once we've finished apparently recapping the whole story and our reactions to it.
Yes.
Like the whole soundtrack is just banger after banger after banger. There are no misses.
Yep. Not a single one.
Uh so yeah, we do that. We have to beat up Randy's ex-girlfriend, and then he gets a free S-Craft.
Yeah.
Which that was actually the first time I used his S-Craft.
Oh.
After he got it was
Yeah.
on his ex-girlfriend.
You're nuts for that.
And then, well, I was like, oh man, they're in the perfect position. Well, they're perfectly lined up for it.
Yeah. You're
And
not
then
lying.
there's another one, and then he's already charged up again. So I'm like, because he basically charges up in between that wave and the next wave, and then I just
Yeah.
did it a second time. I'm like, oh, that's very convenient, actually.
It is a really good S-Craft though. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it's what is it, Death Scorpion or something like that?
Yeah,
It's
something like
so
that.
cool.
Super good.
Yeah, and then we're like more dudes, and then who shows up? Ario's freaking McLean.
Yes. I was happy to see
And
him.
he just sits. He's at like the bottom of the ramp, and he just goes like, "Oh God, what's the name of the school?" Eight
The
leaves.
eight leaves, one blade.
Eight
Is it
leaves, one blade, and he's like second form Gale, and just like
Yeah.
doof, 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 doof.
Yup.
Oh, it's
Yup.
so dude, it's
It was
so hype,
good.
so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, and then I'm sorry. I'm sorry, cat. I'm sorry. I distressed my cat. I was too excited. I gotta calm down.
Oh no.
I was at like a 9. My cat needs to be at like a 5. All right. So that happens. And then Gwentard gets some villain monologue through some other dude. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he stops villain monologuing, gets a really good evil laugh.
Yo, several
Like
times with that.
Oh yeah, he gets to laugh a lot.
Yeah.
The, ha 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 ha.
I was like,
Okay,
what?
that one was a little weird, but like 9 out of 10 of his evil laughs are quality.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolute quality right there.
Yeah, that man really thought he had the upper hand, and then Arios McLean showed up, and it was immediate, just like, oh,
right.
I'm in danger.
Well, Arios shows up, and like, I feel like, okay, Arios, I'm gonna say, is a better, like, he feels like a stronger force than Cassius ever did.
Agreed.
Because
Yeah.
when Arios shows up, you feel the situation turn to the better.
Exactly.
Where Cassius shows up, but after everything's already settled.
Yes.
Like Cassius always showed up. It's like, all right, whatever, everything's in hand, and then Cassius is like, "Oh, you all did a good job. Good thing I'm here."
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Like, thanks,
Cassius is very much the role of just like the diplomat. Like, yeah, everybody kind of like fears him because they know who he is and how strong he actually is or whatever. But yeah, like all he ever really did is just be the
Arios
diplomat.
he felt much more active as a divine. He was a much more active divine blade than Cassius ever was.
Absolutely.
So and that's something I really liked about that moment.
Agreed.
Like I was like, okay, we got this. He's here. We're good.
Yeah.
And
were you holding out for Estelle and Joshua to show up instead? Or was that just me?
I would have been really hype on it, but I'm glad they didn't, because then they got their own moment.
Yeah.
Like, because they would have shown up and been second fiddle to Arios. Instead, they get their own like moment of being awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
I agree.
So we do that, and then we come up with a game plan. It's like, oh, Estelle and, speaking of which, they're off at the Temple of the Sun or whatever, and they're trying to crack open the door because we found out where he's hiding. So we go over there, and the best, in my opinion, the best track in the whole game kicks in with that cutscene.
Yes,
Get Over the Barrel roaring version.
It was so good. I had to pause. I'm pretty sure I set down my controller and I just let it play for a minute. I was like, wow, like this is amazing.
Oh yeah. And that track just hit like I was like goosebumpy. I was like I was getting like emotional, and I'm like, oh my God. Cause like, Get Over the Barrier is easily the best like normal combat theme I think I've ever had in a video game.
It is,
at least,
yeah.
Like Sophisticated Fight from Skies, you know, obviously it's triple S tier. It's the best.
Yeah, it's great.
But like Get Over the Barrier just hits different. Like they I don't know what kind of sorcery they performed, but like that, and then since we've heard it all game long, getting that remix, and that's something so few video games do.
Yeah.
Is they take a theme that we've had a bunch of, and then they remix it for an important moment.
Yeah, that is the power of leitmotifs right there.
Yeah, like leitmotifs are so strong, and like that's just a really good way of doing it. I'm just
100%. Yep.
I'm getting the feeling.
I'm gonna go back for that moment, like right after this. I swear.
Yep. So we get there. We get the best line of green text in the whole game. Josh and Estelle joined the party.
Woo!
Oh lordy. Now I know you were swapping people in and out for that dungeon.
Yeah.
Who did you end up taking to the final boss? Because I actually haven't watched that part of your VOD yet.
Oh, yeah, it ended up being Lloyd and the ladies, all of them.
Oh wow, just
yeah,
that's fair actually.
yeah. I wanted to carry Randy in so badly. I wanted my guy to be there, but then I was like, dang, I don't want Estelle to be out. Ellie is the one I gave the upgraded S-Craft to, and Tio is Tio. Like, what do I do? So I just bit the bullet on it, and I said, screw it. It's Lloyd. It's gonna be you and the ladies. It's time.
Yeah, that was almost my party until I realized that Estelle and Josh had a combo craft.
Yes,
and I knew. Look, like we are on the same mind of Josh. You know, he's like at best a B tier guy.
Yeah.
Josh, you mid, I think, is the running joke in your chat.
Yes, it is. I love I think fandom miscellaneous.
Shout outs to all of the cool people over in Felix's chat. You're all beautiful people. And
yeah, we love you.
We do. And shout outs to people in my chat who
Hell
are also amazing. Like, dude, shout outs to anyone who's active in any streamer's chat, because oh my god, you make it so worth it for us to do what we do.
You're all amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, let's go.
Look, like people no, I get a notification that someone comments on one of these videos, and that's like my whole day just made.
Yeah.
It's the best. Dude, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my god, someone hit the like button? Hell yeah.
Yep. They're
like, you have no idea.
They're joining the conversation. And like that's huge. Yeah.
And that just brings me so much joy. But yeah, like Josh and Estelle, I was like, I knew their combo craft was going to be broken, so I brought him in. I'm like, all right, you're allowed to be in the party. So I brought Tio, Josh, and Estelle, because Tio, whose I had the upgraded combo craft with, and it was busted in half.
Oh, I gotta see that.
The upgraded ones were so. The range is so big.
It is.
It's just comically large.
Yeah,
and
for
I'm like,
no reason.
Mm-hmm. And so we go through hell dungeon, I guess. It's fine. Yep. It's a dungeon. Get a bunch of good weapons, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
We read, Gwenter's weird self-censored diary.
Oh my goodness! Don't get me started on that thing,
dude. I loved the way you read it. I like how we take different approaches to handling the blanks.
Yeah.
See, you did like, and then we went to the land, and I'm like, we went to the land, we go of being.
Oh, nice. So you try to make like coherent sentences out of the actual words. Nice.
I just do the run-on sentence version. I'm like, I appreciate again how we do things slightly differently.
Yeah.
It makes like being able to because it's really nice because like I'm really looking forward. I assume your Cold Steel playthrough is somewhere.
Unfortunately, not the full thing. I didn't think to highlight the full thing as I was doing it, but I did capture my the ending of the game.
All right, well,
like the entirety of the finale, I believe.
I'll have to wait, I guess.
Finale, yeah, the finale, and I believe the prologue for 2. Actually, the prologue and maybe a bit of chapter 1 for 2. Yeah, that should be on the channel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Cold Steel at the end of this. I do want to talk a little bit about Cold Steel with you because I do have a lot of things I want to say about it.
Yes, most definitely.
So we get through the dungeon, we do all that. I like the dungeon. It's a perfectly fine, if slightly long, final dungeon.
Yes.
It could have been one section less. Like, it could have ended at the end of the Blood River.
Agreed. Yes, I agree there too. Free everybody and then just kind of proceed into the final section.
Yeah, and then like the last, because like the 4th stratum or whatever was literally just like, here's a bunch of strong enemies. There
Yeah,
you go.
actually, yeah,
Path, couple chests, fight the bosses. Good job.
yeah, that was it. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, because every other section was like cool and had like a
right.
point, but that one was just that one felt very tacked on.
Yes, agreed. I ended up
And
just running past like every enemy after a certain
same,
point.
yeah. I
Mhm.
didn't even get chests down there. I just was
Oh,
like, all right,
nice.
I'm done. We're just going, man. We're just gonna find
Yeah,
the end.
yeah.
Tired. Uh, so we get there, we fight. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Holy
Mafia
smokes.
dude. Oh, we beat up Elliot or whatever. That was
Oh,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he morbed.
He, yeah, he turned into like a werewolf.
Yeah, oh, dude, that fight got really funny because I was like, wait, you're not immune to AT delay?
Right.
Josh, Randy,
Yep.
he
That
doesn't
was
get
it.
turns anymore. It like caught me off guard like halfway through the fight. I'm like, I'm sorry, hold on. Excuse you? You're not immune to
Right.
this?
Right.
1 second.
Oh, my
Solving
goodness.
problems. That was just funny. And then we beat up Mafia dude Russo. Russo sounds right.
Garcia Rossi.
Yeah,
There
that
you
sounds
go.
right. Yeah, Garcia Rossi. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And so we beat him up. He does not morb because he's got the heart of a Jaeger. And then the
yes.
Attack on Titan theme kicks in. Da 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 da. He's a Jaeger.
Yep.
Am I the only one who thought that theme was literally just like da 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 Aaron Yeager? I thought that's what they were saying.
I thought that's what they were saying too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then someone later was like, "No, it's German, and they're saying other stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." They should have just said Aaron Yeager. It would have been funnier.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that.
Yeah,
In my mind, no matter what anybody tells me, that is what they're saying.
that's canon now. It's true.
Has to be.
And then, so we beat him up, and then we have Joachim Gwenter and his absolutely insane boss fight.
God.
But did he have 2 forms? Oh yeah, he definitely did. Because we fought him as a hummus.
3.
We fought him as a human, and then he like takes all the drugs.
Yeah.
Just 100% of the drugs. He's like,
my
I can
God.
read the script now.
Yeah, that man became the writer of the story. He's like, yo, I see it all now.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, you're gonna have some moments later.
Yeah. Scary.
like-
I
it's
wonder
like,
if he actually saw that or if he was just, super, super high.
I mean, both? Maybe?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, probably.
like, we don't know what Gnosis does.
True.
Like, maybe he can see the future now. So we beat him up in his first form fights, like, fine.
Yeah.
I think he had, did he have ads? I don't think he had side dudes.
In
his
the
first form.
fight. Actually, I think
No, he summoned like
might
a
have.
couple demons.
Yeah.
They were like some
'Cause I think it
generic
was just him by
face
himself living the
demons.
Wait
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his final form, dude,
Oh,
that
here we
fight
go.
stressed me out. Now I know he killed you at one point.
Yeah, he was mean to me.
Mhm.
He was super mean to me. Yeah, the meme of never punished, I definitely got punished. Yeah,
For
I
your
couldn't believe it.
hubris.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
fair.
easy enough getting rid of the ads he had at the start. I didn't fall for the initial like 2 traps with those, I guess, because I was just casting arts pretty much the entire time dealing with those.
I definitely fell for that, and I actually got soft locked.
I heard, yes.
Yeah, so apparently if you vanish someone who is petrified and it procs the 1-hit KO,
Oh,
that's a soft lock.
Oh,
Because the
my
game
gosh,
just
I was
has no
wondering.
idea what to do, apparently.
Right. Oh
I
my
s-
goodness, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's just a thing that happened.
Wow.
And I'm like, because and the funniest part about that is it was Josh that fell, and I'm like, whatever. This will just be the second final boss in a row that Josh gets yeeted off the battlefield because I let him get eaten in, what was that, second chapter?
Right.
When freaking Wiseman gets his crazy like, oh, you better get
Oh,
someone the hell out of this circle. I just let him.
yeah.
I thought Earthguard would guard it. That's what it does. It says guard on the thing. Immune. We were not immune.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
I'm still mad about that.
No,
So
that's
yeah.
fair.
Oh yeah. So he wombo comboed you.
Yes. So I didn't expect, like, at no point did like the light panel lighting up, I guess, like ever occur to me. When I
Mhm.
got him to that, I guess whatever point of health is required for that. And so the ladies, they all got taken. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then I saw like, oh, instead of them being dead, like I kind of anticipated, I thought, or I noticed afterward, it was like, okay, it's just vanished. I was like, okay, cool, they'll be back, right? Like that's how vanish works, right? It still works like that.
Yep.
And then he proceeded to, on like a half HP Lloyd, just drop his S craft on me and
Oh.
kill me. So of course, the other team members didn't make it back, and so that's how he got me the first time. The
Mhm.
second time I had him below, like just barely below like a quarter of his health, I think. And what did he do? Let's see. I think I had most of the characters kind of huddled in one corner at the time because I was casting I forget the name of the art now, but it's the art that boosts Fortuna. I was casting Fortuna a ton
Oh
between
yeah.
Estelle and Lloyd to power up the two others who could actually use arts. So I was buffing them up and we finally got to like S-Craft territory and I was like, okay, cool. There's a crit turn coming up. I'm going to probably use like TOs first and just laser him, and everything will be
Reasonable.
okay on this crit turn. I hit the S craft too early. So he managed to get the crit and he wiped out, I think, another three teammates. If not, he got everybody all at once. But I think he wiped out three people. And then, like, the game was like, oh, what's this? You want to move fast all of a sudden? Here's another turn. And then he killed whoever was left. And I
Oh
was like,
my god.
okay, here we go.
Oh man. So I thought he was gonna get me. So the back panel fell out.
Yeah.
I think the back panel falls out when he transforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that like jump scared me. I'm like, oh god. And then one or two characters fell off. And he S crafts, he gets a crit turn. Because I think he gets moved up. Because I was like, okay, there's a crit coming up. We're gonna be fine. And then I think when you hit him there, he takes the initiative.
Yeah.
And then he S crafts. So he crit S craft Lloyd, who was the
Oh
only
my gosh.
person on the field.
Right.
And he lived with 3 HP.
Holy smokes.
It was
Wow.
like, and I just full healed him. And I
Oh, wow.
think I had some sort of defense buff on him. I don't. Yeah, he was Burning Heart. I had him on Burning
Oh,
Heart.
yes. Okay.
And so yeah, he was like 50% defense and he took almost every drop of HP. And I'm like, "Oh god."
Wow. Oh, I wish I was so fortunate.
Oh man. Oh no, I think the panel took 2 people and the S-Craft killed everyone else cuz Lloyd was the only
Okay.
person standing at that point.
Right. Okay.
It was insane and I somehow pulled it back.
You are a miracle worker with that.
Dude, just never stop casting Chrono Drive.
That's fair.
Never
I'm
stop casting
doing that.
Chrono Drive.
I'm doing that in my next Trails game. I don't care.
Dude,
I have to.
it's the only thing. Like it's if you're always going fast, the enemies don't get turns. And that's the important part.
Yeah.
The important part is to make it so they don't get turns.
That's true. Oh,
Yeah, so then the boss happens and then we get we get the end of the game, and oh my god, this game is
Yeah.
just Sky 4.
It is.
This game is just Sky the Fourth.
Gosh, what a perfect little wrap up, honestly, to that arc, I guess.
Because
Only
Ren,
for and we know it's going to continue from there too. Like, we're obviously going to see how they develop and so on onwards.
oh yeah, I'm wondering if they did we know that they left Crossbell, like the Brights,
Um,
or were they still around like at the back half?
they were still around. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, because I was like, I don't know if they're going to be around for Azure or not. I'm gonna assume.
Oh wait, actually, I think they did go back home. I don't think they're going to be there.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like someone mentioned offhandedly that like they went back to Liberl, and
Yeah.
like Ren was like going to school or something. Like she's a Genis.
Oh no way.
I feel like
Oh,
I
cool.
feel like that's something someone said. Like
Right.
just
Oh,
really
that'd be
offhandedly. I was like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Ren going to school, huh? I didn't
Yeah.
anticipate that particular thing to happen. I know we saw that with Kia going to school. I was like, "Oh, look at that. Let's go."
Because they're like, oh, Kia's going to school, and apparently so is Ren now. Like, it was really offhanded.
Oh. Yeah. Oh,
It was
wow.
it was a very offhand comment, and
Yeah.
they're back in Liberl, and yeah, like it's just a really nice way of capping off, especially from the ending of third.
Yeah.
Like, we got the ending of third, and it's like, hey, we're gonna catch up to you, and then Estelle gives her the hug. It's like, caught you, and I'm like, little dry sob. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Oh.
And I feel bad for Lloyd
Me
as
too.
a pro tag, because he literally just had his debut game like complete, like he got the finale of his own game like upstaged.
Yes.
And I'm kind of mad at Estelle for it.
I understand entirely.
I'm kind of mad at Estelle, but I'm going to blame Josh.
You know what? Yes. I'm with you on that 100%.
There's a time and the place.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't it, Josh. Thank you.
100%.
But like, yeah, like no, it was a powerful ending. And then like it's an ending.
Yeah.
Like I was so ready for like a Sky first chapter kind of deal where they're like, oh boy, it's time to, it's like, oh, they've kidnapped Kia or something, and then Joachim like doing evil stuff. No, he's dead.
Right.
Mans is dead.
Gone.
Yeah, Mans is dead, turned to dust and ether. And Kia's just going to school and being happy and having friends. And I'm just like, oh my god, there's an actual like resolution to things.
Yeah.
And I loved it. All right. We've recapped this whole story.
Yep. That we did.
I guess that's just a thing we're doing. But we did hit a lot of the things in our notes. But let's talk about the cult. Specifically, the cult and Gnosis. And
holy smokes.
Like, so I have no idea. Like, obviously, your knowledge extends to like the beginning of Cold Steel 2.
Right. Yes.
And I am learning. I'm in the middle. I just finished chapter 1 of Cold Steel 1.
Yes.
And do we think the DG cult's going to be doing like obviously I don't, the answer, but I feel like there's the possibility of some cult shenanigans at least happening in like the background of Cold Steel 1.
Right. I don't know for certain. I guess at this point now, I guess I wouldn't be surprised, but I actually kind of feel like with how things were lined up in Zero, that maybe this is the end of them at least actively operating. I do think that we're going to learn more about victims of it, down the line, but
I
or
agree.
like find more kids or survivors or whatever, because it seems like there's at least one per lodge that they had or something.
Yeah.
So I imagine we're gonna learn more about like other kids from other lodges. Um, but otherwise, I think Joaquin actually was like the last one, because the way they go about explaining the operation to like take them all down, it seemed like they actually did manage to get everybody, and there was maybe only I guess the one straggler or something like that, being Joaquin there.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
But there's an unknown amount of Gnosis floating around
yes,
as well.
that is true too. Yes,
Like he wasn't manufacturing it, so it was being made somewhere.
yeah, that is true. So maybe Gnosis itself will come back, but
hmm
mm,
Probably not the cult, at least in its current form. Now,
yeah,
something that I noticed, and I don't know if it's my brain crossing wires
yeah,
or if this was an actual thing. So in Cold Steel today, Reen mentioned that he is from Ymir,
yes.
and I've heard of Ymir
Mhm, mhm.
previously in relation to one of the lodges of the cult.
Oh, oh,
And I don't know if that's going to have any implications down the
right.
line.
Oh god, do you think he's one of the kids?
I don't know. It's
Oh,
something we would like none of us like. I don't feel like he is,
right,
but I don't. But like, since his dad is like the Baron or whatever, I don't know what kind of, if there is going to be any sort of connection there. Because
right.
like,
Oh god.
yeah. So like, I feel like if there was, we would know about it up to this
Right,
point,
that's true.
but I feel like there's a dangling thread there, and
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it in the back of my head, especially because again, my brain might have just like crossed a wire somewhere. There's too
Yeah.
much damn
There's
lore.
there's a lot.
There's a lot of lore, and I'm just like I don't. That's just that's a we're putting a pin in it,
Mhm.
and we'll figure that out later.
Ooh, scary.
Um, yeah, but like I'm really just there's a lot that this game has put into the canon
Mhm.
that I'm just super excited about. Like Ren is technically a good guy again now.
Yeah. Ren
So
Bright. That's
if
gotta be weird.
right, so if Josh and Estelle show up at any point, there's a non-zero chance that she will also be with them.
Yeah.
And that's very exciting for me.
Yep.
I'm
Yep,
like,
same.
oh man, like, and we have no idea if they're going to be in Arabonia at any point. Like, they don't really have
Right.
a reason to be at this point,
Right, agreed.
especially because like the Bracer Guild is basically banned from
Yeah.
Arabonia at this exact
Yeah.
moment, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the whole reason they have those provincial armies or whatever. I guess is the whole thing. I just learned
Yep.
about all this today, so I'm like,
Yeah.
this is why I have it fresh in my brain.
Yeah, you're being a refresher for me right now, honestly.
Yeah, so like we have the provincial armies, which are like because the Bracer Guild like got destroyed a
Yeah.
couple years ago uh in Arabonia, and they apparently have not been allowed to rebuild
This is the fault of
since.
Cassius Bright.
Yep. Turns out, fun fact, Cassius Bright screws stuff up. So that's going to be an interesting thing. I'm very interested to see how Class 7 like interacts with all of this, and or if
Yes.
they have to interact, because right now they're not really dealing with the overarching plot yet,
Right.
to my knowledge at least. So we'll get to that. Do you yeah,
Ye
do you have any story or plot related stuff?
so one
Go ahead.
there was one thing I was kinda confused about, and I'm, like, super scared because they full on, I guess, have, information regarding the, what gosh, what was his position? He's basically the guy, opposite of the mayor, right, the board there, and he was like working with the mafia on all the nonsense with the auction and da da da.
Speaker Hartman.
Yes. So Speaker Hartman, right, and his connections to Paradise. Speaking of Ren and so on, were the implications surrounding him? Because I don't think it's ever really direct and clear.
I believe either he or someone in his immediate employ was a customer.
Okay. Yeah, because I was under the understanding that he was the customer for that, and I was like, "There's no way."
That was my assessment of the situation, because I definitely don't think like he was, running it, but like if you have, we have documentation that this politician is a frequent member of our super cool lodge of joy and nothing bad happening.
Yeah,
that will demonetize me.
Yep, right.
Yeah, the lodge of only cool things happening there. The lodge of demonetization. There we go. I'm like, hold on, we're gonna find the line somewhere.
Good language there.
Yeah. Then that pretty much puts them in your back pocket.
Yeah.
So that was my takeaway from that.
That makes sense. We're pretty much on the same page there. I just wanted to be sure, because I was like, is that what happened, or was he like, I guess, part of it in some other sort of form? But no, that figures. That's crazy, and I am glad that we're not gonna see him anymore. Because
god, yeah, he's gonna be put away forever, maybe even 5 ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's maximum amounts of shady, and like the whole mafia, like the whole like Ravash company is like just done.
Yeah, they're
like
going now.
We rescued Donald Macaroni, and that's something we forgot to touch on. Who the hell killed Guy?
Yeah, dude.
Because everyone just pointed in a giant circle jerk to everyone else. I'm going to assume that's the plot of Azure.
Yeah, finding out who. Yeah,
I'm going to make the general assumption that's just the plot of Azure.
It's gotta be.
It better be. I'm gonna be real mad if I have to wait until like Reverie or something.
Steel. Oh my gosh! If that mystery isn't solved by the end of Cold Steel, like 4 at least, and even then, that's still painful. I swear.
Right. Dude, I need Lloyd Bannings to show up in freaking Cold Steel just for no reason. I just miss him. Yeah. Really, like Reen's a cool guy, but like he's not Lloyd Bannings cool.
Exactly. Yeah. I
love that guy.
Yeah, Reen. I think where you're at right now, anyway, Reen could probably be looked at as like a cooler Joshua.
I think I like to think of Reen as a less. He's basically like Lloyd, but a little less like aggressive.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
He's like a more passive Lloyd, where Lloyd will like he's a big fan of the gotcha, like deductive reasoning thing. Like Reen still has that, like, he still has like the brain cells put together. Like he can understand what's going on. He can make pretty good inferences, but he doesn't do the, haha, but this is actually what's happening. Where Lloyd would very much, and he loves doing it because he does it all the damn time. He's like, well, actually. And then, he monologues at the villain until they have to get over a barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I don't know. I like Reen. He's pretty cool.
Reen is cool.
But like Lloyd's one of my favorite protags. Like, yeah, he might be like an Estelle tier protag too.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think I was saying that to you before. I was like, yeah, Estelle and Reen are really, really, really cool.
Yeah, like Reen's fine. He's definitely the weakest of the 3, but I've only had like 20 hours with the guy. Yeah, so
and then Lloyd,
we'll give him time.
Of course.
We got 4 games with this idiot.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Or well, maybe, who knows? I actually wonder if that changes at all down the line.
That's a really good question that I don't know
Yeah.
the answer.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know, but I'm
starting.
assuming. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm making the assumption that I just have class 7 for 4 games.
Right.
That's what my I'm rolling with it. That's the assumption I'm making,
Same.
and hopefully we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, anyway, we keep getting distracted by Cold Steel.
Yep, true.
Is there anything else we wanted to talk about story or plot or character wise with Zero? Dude, did we talk about
n
Chief Sergey?
no. Dude.
The big reveal that he was like, oh yeah, I was the chief of this squad. It was
Yeah, we didn't
Guy
touch on that.
Bannings and freaking Arios McLean,
Yeah,
and he was the boss.
I was just like, wow. Wow. It's
What a
amazing.
legend! What an
Yeah.
actual legend!
I already loved Sergey, like, just, like, in his position and just, like, how laid back he was, willing to
Mhm.
cover for the team, etcetera, but then when he started dropping those bombs, and then when he came into, like, that full action, in the final act, I was like, "Wow, like, this is my guy. I would follow this man anywhere."
Dude whipped out a shotgun right after the freaking windows get shot down, and I'm like,
Yup.
dude, whatever you say goes. You're the
Yup.
boss.
Yup.
Chief, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. My God. Dude. And then he freaking, again, he gets the big damn hero moment at the best musical part of the whole game, where he's driving the bulletproof car, gets shot, keeps driving.
Yeah.
Dude, he's what a legend. What an actual dude. I felt bad because I started the game calling him like an off-brand Neil Burns.
Oh, yeah, but I get why, right? I
Yeah,
definitely understand why. I was thinking
I
similar.
only called him off brand because, he's smoking in his, character picture, but the model didn't have a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I was being really petty about it. No,
Too funny.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the dude, I'm really excited, man. It's gonna be a good time. All
Yeah,
right,
for sure. Yeah.
let's talk about music.
Whew.
Before I think we're slowly able to wind this down.
Yes.
Uh, the music we talked about it a little bit already up to this point, kind of scattershot. Do you have any favorite tracks though?
Ooh. I think I think one of mine would probably be Limit Break.
Ooh, that's a
Really
good
like
one.
Limit Break. Yeah.
That's a really good one. I
I
really
think they
like.
yeah,
I mean, obviously, Get Over the Barriers.
of course.
Just absolutely amazing. What did you think of the final boss music?
Oh my gosh. I thought it was actually pretty beautiful. Now I'm also going to speak real quick from a place that is very dark in my heart because of what
Mhm.
happened to me during that fight. But I did eventually get tired of the looping. I was like, okay, all right.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was stuck in there for about an hour and some change. So,
Yeah, I had a bit of I was there for a little while, but yeah, it was I think it was pretty good. It's
Yeah,
not
definitely.
as good as second chapters though.
No.
Second
No, no, no,
chapter's final
definitely not.
boss music is just like, oh, it's best in the series so far at
Yeah.
least. I think for me, Formidable Enemy, which is like
Yep.
the standard boss music,
Yes.
and the final dungeon music
Oh my gosh. Yes,
were
that was
both.
good. Amazing.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
those are probably like my two favorite tracks. Intense Chase
Okay.
was a
Yep.
pretty good track. It
Inevitable
was
struggle.
oh yeah, dude, just all the
Mhm.
combat music in this game.
So good.
I really liked the music when you're exploring the Moon Temple as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They had this like really kind of creepy vibe to it,
Yeah,
and
very appropriate.
I'm going to talk about Cold Steel again. Cold Steel's soundtrack isn't as strong, and it's making me a little sad.
I understand that too. Going back
It's
to it now and like watching you play these past, well, I guess like weekend some change.
it's
I
like
was like,
yeah,
man,
it's like oh yeah, I
mm,
think I started last Monday. So yeah, this is Monday of the next week. So yeah, this is my
y-
6th day playing it.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
just not as strong. Like I could not tell you any of the area themes what they sound like.
yeah, right,
But
right.
like I've been humming the Crossbell like morning theme on and
Nice.
off. Like dude, it's a the Zero soundtrack just never misses.
Never.
I do think the standard combat music, Glint of Cold Steel, that's
Hmm.
good. I like the piano
Yes,
in it.
definitely.
But I'm a sucker for piano and guitar mixes, so
Yeah.
it's real. I'm an easy guy. You have a piano, you got a guitar, I'm in. Done.
Yep.
10 out of 10.
I'm with you on that. I'm particularly fond of any stringed instruments and
Hmm.
saxophones.
Oh, dude, it's freaking
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
Sophisticated fight.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Super Arrange album for Zero? Trying to keep
Ooh.
us on track. Try to keep us on Zero.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was kind of like powerful.
It was. There's a lot of very good tracks. Yet another differently themed mix of Get Over the Barrier.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact name of the track, but like it's got this like epic like Hollywood movie vibe to it, and I'm like, oh
Yes.
my god,
So
it's
good.
so powerful. Uh,
Yes.
and then again, Get Over the Barrier has another mix on the
Yeah.
Falcom Acoustics 2 album, the
Yes.
jazz version. Apparently, the jazz version of Get Over the Barrier is controversial in the community.
Really?
Yes, some people really like it and think it's great, and other people have no taste.
That is interesting.
It
Oh,
is. I because if you go down the YouTube comments, because every so often, I get bored. I look at YouTube comments on music.
of course. Of course.
And the people are just like, yeah, saxophone sucks. I'm like, my God.
Whoa. Ain't no freaking way.
So like, I'm like, all right, man. Like, I don't know. I've never disliked something enough to comment on it on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Just enjoy things. If you aren't enjoying a thing, stop it. It's
Yeah,
that
agreed.
easy. There is another thing,
Yeah.
probably in your recommended.
Yeah, yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
And just check it out. Just check that out instead.
Yep.
In regards to, because you mentioned you liked the song that played in the final dungeon, right?
Yes, I
Um,
don't remember the name of the track.
I'm actually pretty sure, because I'm giving them like a kind of a quick peek over here on the side. I'm pretty sure it was Killing Bear for at least a chunk of it. And
That
that's the
yeah.
same theme that plays for Garcia, I'm pretty sure. Because I think that
Yeah.
was the name he went by, and I found that to be kind of interesting, to be honest. Like, I almost wonder if like maybe there was something that was maybe supposed to be in the writing, and then they maybe decided last second to switch it up. Because I was like, why are we hearing what I kind of put in my mind as Garcia Rossi's theme, like throughout like this section
Yeah.
or like this dungeon? I think it was Killing Bear,
I feel
and yeah,
wasn't that his boss music?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That tracks, yeah. Hey cat, what do you want?
Yeah. I was like, "That's interesting." Yeah, and it was just
Yeah.
like that really like these really long guitar notes, like, part ways in, and I was like, "Ooh."
Oh
It
yeah.
hit. Sent
I'm
chills for sure.
I'm gonna sit down with like that whole soundtrack and just like start binging it, and I'm like, oh, it's
Yes!
so good. Also, something I also miss from Zero that Cold Steel doesn't do
Yes.
is it doesn't have the like shows you the name of the track feature,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
the best feature in any video game that has ever existed. Oh my god, I want it in everything now.
Agreed. We've been spoiled.
Oh, it's so good. I hope Azure has it. I'm assuming Azure will have it because I know that's a
Same.
localization thing.
Yes, yeah,
That's
I'm
like
assuming it'll have it too.
Did I'm I don't really think like I'm not an expert on like the localization stuff that happened.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you know much about what's going on there, but like,
No.
I know it's like, oh, this was done by the Geofront team, which did like a fan translation. And I think the like music cards were like a thing they did in their like original fan translation, which got added into the official one. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's real interesting.
Agreed. Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah, so if people are asking, oh, why aren't they talking about the localization? It's like because we don't know much about the backstory of that. I'm sure there are people who have made very long videos that could tell you.
Yeah, this is your opportunity. Also, if you happen to know, to tell us.
Yeah, put it in the comments below. Like, let us know like what's going on with that because like I know they basically absorbed that team.
Yeah.
To make this game, and I guess Azure.
Yeah, I'm assuming so as well.
But like I have no idea. Is there anything else we want to say before we get canceled again?
No, not before we move on to that. I guess that final point there.
Yeah. So again, the thing that we have to, every person has to talk about whenever we talk about Trails from Zero. Is Zero a good starting point for the Legend of Heroes series?
Yeah.
I'll let you start again because I'm feeling I know what your answer is.
Well, when I factor in like how it ended, and the like we mentioned earlier, the fact that Estelle kind of comes in and steals some of the thunder from the ending, or a good 60-70% of the thunder from the way that ended.
Yeah.
I'm still very much, even more so now, I would say, on my standpoint of being like, no, maybe not. I don't think it's a great starting point. You can absolutely, and I definitely subscribe to the idea of like it being, or not the idea, but the fact that it is the most accessible title right now, right? It's on every platform, absolutely. But if we're talking lore, I feel like you would end Zero with more questions,
Yeah. So I feel like now I believe I have been told that Cold Steel 3 and 4 have a Switch port.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
Yeah. So and so they're on like every console. So I'm going to agree with you that it is not an optimal starting point.
Yes.
But I will again play the devil's advocate because no one is going to sit through an hour and a half of us talking about this game and then actually cancel me. So I feel invincible in saying, if you want to start with Trails from Zero, go ahead.
Yeah.
And because you will have questions. Like, there's a lot that this game is going to throw at you, and it's not going to explain it. And it's going to assume that you've played 200 hours of JRPG before this one.
Yep. It does.
I made this offhand comment earlier. This is secretly Trails in the Sky the 4th.
Yes.
But like half of it is a new game.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But I think that there's still, like, even if you don't know the characters, I feel like if you're doing side content, if you're the kind of player that does all the side content in a game, or as much of it as you can stomach, and you're going to sit down and you're going to spend 80 to 100 hours in Crossbell, you know what? This game's going to have a lot of questions that hopefully it'll make you want to play Sky.
Yeah.
Like, because knowing how, because I feel like even back in like second chapter, I kind of knew how the Estelle, Josh, and Ren storyline was going to end.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I knew where it was going.
Yeah, but, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like seeing it is a different thing.
Yeah.
But like seeing it and seeing the end and then going through the beginning would be an interesting experience. At least I would like to see how someone who experienced the story in that order, seeing that cathartic ending, and then learning the path that they take to get there. I think that would be an interesting way of experiencing that story.
Agreed there too. I've kind of actually, in some ways, I've kind of had that with Cold Steel now, because like, I guess watching it once and then even just going through the Sky trilogy and then re-watching the things that happened throughout Cold Steel, like so many things.
I'm
And so
very
I would imagine,
interested.
yeah. Yeah,
I'm very
I
interested to
can't-
see how Cold Steel plays out, because like
Yes.
it feels very self-contained so far.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think anyway, about as early as chapter 1, if not 2, which you're going to be going into, I do believe like there will be some things that are kind of subtly dropped here or there.
Yeah.
And nothing will really like come of them, but like you're going to be seeing or hearing more familiar names or so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of that. I won't say more, but yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, it's interesting because they have like that in media res prologue where they're setting up the rail, like someone's like doing a rail gun, like, and getting ready to fire a crossbow. But I'm like, well, hold on, that's like in the middle of Zero. Like, we're in the middle of Zero date wise. I'm like, that they can't have fired a railgun. I would have heard about this.
Right, exactly.
I would have heard something about that at some point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's very interesting. And so like I feel like like later I feel like the game's going to at least interact with Zero. I don't know how much we're going to interact with the Sky crew.
Okay,
like,
right.
Honestly, Kevin is the one that's the most likely to show up, weirdly enough.
Agreed there. Definitely.
And so I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But
me too.
I think we have rambled long enough.
That we have.
Dude, thank you again so much for I freaking love sitting down and talking to you. I say sitting down as though I haven't stood the whole time.
Ooh.
But like, dude, I love talking with you on video games. It's so fun, and we do need to do this more. Like,
agreed.
Like you know what we never did, and we've been threatening. We threatened to do a while ago. We never talked about Dragon Ball. Yeah,
I knew it.
Dude, we're gonna do that on your channel. All right.
Okay, well, let's go.
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna schedule that. We're gonna do that on your channel. But
let's go.
So look forward to that, listeners.
The manga's coming back soon, so
they're gonna adopt the superheroes movie into the manga, and I loved the superheroes movie. I'm very excited to see how that pans out.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping then we get a new arc. And please just let the anime come back. I want to see the Morrow arc animated.
Me too. Yeah, I've been hearing some rumors that like they actually might, I guess, kind of do what they sort of did for the Broly movie in the manga, where they kind of dedicate like a little thing to it, like a little blurb saying, "Ah, yes, things happened," and then they carry on. But I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they do with that. But we'll talk Dragon Ball later.
Most definitely.
But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Again, Felix, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on most socials as just FelixWind, but especially on Twitch. That is where I'm at primarily. I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, starting at around 4 p.m. Eastern. And would love to have you come on by. Let us know what you thought about the video after you've watched this. Would love to hear back from all of you.
Yes, please come to our Twitch channels and yell at us. You can also find me every weekday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. On my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Areopolis, or this YouTube channel you're on. Maybe subscribe if you haven't already. If you're an hour and 40 minutes into a video of opinions, like maybe you like them. Maybe or maybe you're mad, and if you're mad, tell me about it in the comments. It will be great.
Yes.
Also, make sure you go over check out Felix's YouTube channel. He puts up some pretty cool stuff.
Oh, yo, thank you. You know, we
periodically.
like React content. True. We're not going to talk about the consistency.
Yeah,
Not yet.
I was like actually going over to look at your channel because I needed the URL, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's the direct. That was the farming a JRPG direct.
Yeah.
Reactions. Yo, I love the farming Nintendo Direct. It was the best. It's just farming. Yo, amazing. Story of Seasons though.
Yes.
Dude, I need to get that game. I need to get that game because I'm like, I have not played that one. I haven't played the thing it's remaking, so I'm really excited.
It was my favorite one. I still think to this day it was the best Harvest Moon game, and so by extension, now that it's going to be Story of Seasons, I think this will be, with all the new things and polish that they'll probably be adding to it, it's going to be like the greatest one.
Oh yeah, the only Harvest Moon I ever played was the Super Nintendo one. So I'm
also a legendary one.
Oh yeah, it's very good. Yes. So I'm very much looking forward. I gotta end this video, otherwise we'll just talk.
Let's do it.
Y'all, this has been one more for the road, and I hope that we will see y'all next time.
You better.
Goodbye.
Yeah.